Welcome to class. So since we are done with the first chapter, which is quite brief, we move on to the second chapter, that is the demographic structure of Indian society. So here in this chapter, it is very important that we know what demography is, okay? So the first point reads, demography is the study of population. So demography is something which studies the population of a country, population of a nation. Like how in economics we study economy, in sociology we study society. Similarly, in demography as a subject studies population. Second point, it is the study of the births, the deaths, income or incidence of diseases which change the structure of human population. So demography, it studies all the events which brings about the change in human population, like births, deaths, incidence of diseases. All of this brings about change in the human population. Like if there is a birth, people give birth to children like every second. So when there is a new birth, the population changes. When there is death, the population changes. When people die due to diseases, there is population changes. When people migrate to other countries or people from other countries migrate to our country, there is change in population. So all of the events which brings about change in the structure of population is what is studied in demography. So the third point, the term demography has been derived from the Greek word demos, meaning people, and graphy, meaning writing about something. So basically, in very simple words, in demography you study about people, okay, the number of people or the population of people in a particular country. Point number 4, demography studies the changes in population, birth rate, death rate, migration, proportion of children, men, women, and different age groups. As mentioned earlier, in demography, you study the events which bring about changes in the population. So, it is important to remember that there are two varieties of demography, formal and social. So formal demography reads that it is the demography that is concerned only with the measurement of vital events such as birth rate, death rate, migration, etc. So formal demography studies all the quantity or the numbers of changes in population or all the events that bring about changes in population like the birth rate, death rate, migration, etc. On the other hand, social demography, it refers to the study of the causes and consequences of population and the changes occurring in it. So demography studies all the reasons, all the factors that influence changes in the population. Alright, so the next point, the social demographers are of the view that the social processes influence the demographic structure. So the social demographers, they say that all of the events, all of the social events that are happening in the society, in the country, it influences the population structure of a particular country. Next point, demography involves the counting of various sections of population through processes such as census, survey, etc. So demography, it uses the process of census, survey, to know or to count the population, the number of people in the country. Got it? So basically demography deals as a whole with the population of a country, and it also deals with various events that influences the population of a country. So the first point of the next slide reads, demography occupies an important place in sociology. So demography is very important in sociology. So like sociology studies all the social phenomena. It also studies why there is more population in a particular state, why there is less population in a particular state, why death rate is high in a particular state, why death rate is low in a particular state, why in some states literacy rate is high, why in some states it is low, and all of that. So what gives sociology all of the data regarding the high and the lows of the population in certain states? That is demography. Demography gives sociology the data about what rate of population is high, what kind of state has a particular type of population, is what demography gives to sociology. So it is the duty of sociology. Sociology uses demography to find out why in certain states the number of female population is high, why in certain states number of female population is low, why in certain states birth rate is high, poverty is high, or in certain states poverty is low. So sociology uses demography to get all this data, and on the other hand it tries to find out consequences or the reasons or the causes of such change in population. So there is also a branch of sociology called social demography. Okay, so the first modern census was conducted by America in the year 1790. In the year 1800, it was adopted by Europe. The British government began conducting census in India between 1867 to 1872. So before independence, it was before independence when the first census was conducted in India by the British Indian government, when India was under the rule of the Britishers. So next point, since 1881, India has been conducting decennial census, that is 10 yearly census in India. So since 1881, census has been taking place every 10 years. Like the last census took place in 2011. Now it will be taking place in 2021. This has been taking place, or this pattern has been the same since 1881, since the time of the Britishers. So the most recent census has been conducted in 2011, as I told you. And India's census is the largest census conducted in the world, because India's population is the second largest. China's is the first, but China they do not regularly conduct census. So the largest census conducted in the world is that of India's. So next point, why is demographic data important? Demographic data helps in planning and implementation of state policies. So unless we know how much poor people are there, or how much rich people are there, how much female are there, how much male are there, we cannot really implement all of the welfare programs for these sections of people. So demography gives data which helps in planning the implementation of state policies. It is important for implementing welfare programs for economic development and for the welfare of the public. In order to conduct any program, in order to launch any programs for the people, it is very important to know the population, that what is the strength of the target population who are going to benefit from this particular program, from this particular welfare program or policy or economic development. For that, demography is very important. We need to know the strength of the population in order to conduct the welfare program. So demography is very important for that.